Welcome to Show Studio's Fashion Radio, the podcast and video series exploring the remarkable relationship between fashion and music. Every week, I'll be joined by fashion's biggest names and the talent of tomorrow as they share their 10 life-defining tunes and the stories behind them. I'm your host, DJ Fat Tony, and today's guest is a proud South Londoner whose innovative menswear has propelled her to becoming one of fashion's most exciting emerging names. Making history in 2021 as the first black recipient of the prestigious Andam Fashion Award, her incredible label is an exploration of her British Jamaican heritage. It's Bianca Saunders. Hey, welcome to Show Studio Fashion Radio. I'm DJ Fat Tony, and today, I'm joined by, I'm excited about this one because I wear her clothes. So it's a big thing for me, the incredible Bianca Saunders.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, babe, seriously, it's a real honor. You know, as I say, you were probably, for me, one of the most exciting finds of the last 2 years, fashion-wise. It's like, I get excited every season when you bring clothes out, and it's like, there's a couple of designers, you know, I'm a big Kim Jones fan, and so I always have been from his early days, but right the way up, that I collect clothes.
Yeah.
And I wear clothes, and I see the beauty in fashion, the wearable side of it, you know, and you're one of those people that I wear on a daily basis, which is great.
Thank you. And I definitely try to make it like, as soon as it's on the runway, it has to be in the store, like exactly how it is. And I'm enjoying wearing my own clothes as well too at the moment.
They're wearable. Literally, the amount of attention I can get from wearing, like I've got this incredible denim two-piece, and the jacket's like a real 70s cut with a big collar, and it's faded.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a big fan of double denim at the moment, and like I wear it, and every time I wear it, people ask me where I got it from. Straight away, always.
But you definitely got to send me some pictures.
I will do.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got your CV in front of me, and I call it a CV because that's what Show Studio do. They print out these information sheets, and it's Bianca Saunders is an award-winning London-based menswear designer who takes inspiration from her British Jamaican background.
It's so funny. It's like every time someone describes me, I'm like, oh, well, that is me. Because I'm like, oh, when people meet me, like, oh yeah, I've got a fashion brand. Then they're like, wow, you really downplay the whole thing. But I appreciate the introductions.
Why do you feel that you downplay it? Do you think you just don't make a big thing of it because it's what you do and they think you downplay it?
Yeah, I think I don't make a big thing of it because I'm always like, I always think about the next thing, and then I'm always like, because I'm always doing so many different things at the same time.
Yeah.
That it's like I can't not miss what's happening around me, but I'm like, okay, next show it needs to make it better, or this needs to be like that, and then I actually reflect on it sometimes. Usually towards the end of the year, when like the award shows come around, and that sort of stuff. I'm like, the other day I was nominated for.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
and I screamed when they read out your name because I really wanted you to get it. Literally, there was quite a few screams for Bianca. Did you notice?
I was like, who are these people?
Did you know? We were at the Albert Hall, by the way, for people that are listening at the British Fashion Awards, and Bianca was nominated, and there was an awful lot of Biancas being screamed out. Yeah,
no, definitely. But it's just like because. I was like, oh wow, I actually am an independent brand, and then even being nominated in that category because some of the other designers have probably been around for like 8 or 10 years.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
So it was just like that nomination alone just blew my mind, and it really made me reflect on this journey about like how far I've come, and then just being able to achieve my dream in luxury fashion is like beyond me, because then there's other people that are looking at my journey and probably like, oh, they would like to do it. So, and
next year you'll be up for Designer of the Year probably at this rate.
I hope so. I always wanted to be Bianca Saunders, like there on the screen somewhere. So when it comes to like my craft or design, I'm such a nerd about it. I'm like, okay, no, it needs to look like this, or it needs to, or I'm trying to get into each of the categories, like in terms of like perfecting like the tailoring and that sort of stuff, making sure that the casual wear is making sense, or like I haven't even done like footwear properly yet. So I was like, people want me to rush in to do women's wear. Yeah, but I like the fact that women could just go to that section and just buy it and still look good.
It's for everyone. Yeah. I wouldn't say your clothes are feminine.
Yeah.
I don't look at them and think, oh, I can't wear that because that's a bit feminine. I look at them and I just think, oh, I love the style of that. And, you know, as I say, I've got some like a green tracksuit of yours as well with the big pockets. And, you know, it's such a comfortable, I feel, I don't feel like I'm wearing something feminine in any way, shape or form. I think it's for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the sign of a good designer. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you need to branch into women's wear.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's just more like a brand, especially for next year. It's just like, I just want everyone to just come and wear it and feel like it's a part of their wardrobe. They feel like it belongs to them. Because sometimes you can wear clothes and it can feel like you're someone else, if that makes sense. Yeah,
of course, that's fashion though, isn't it, right? And I just think, you're a self-proclaimed gender bender on here. Which I love that word. People used to go, oh my God, he's a gender bender back in the day, in the 80s, when people kind of wore outrageous clothes. It wasn't even about wearing women's clothes. It was about wearing what you wanted to wear and had a look. It was about the look.
Yeah.
And that was a term that the press used for the likes of Boy George and all of us that were dressing up like that. So I kind of love the way that you've re-owned that word, gender bender, because that's what it is. People love to call it fluid, gender fluid, blah, blah, call it what you will.
Yeah.
But I think that when you see an item of beauty, it doesn't matter if it's for a man or for a woman. It's how you wear it, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it is definitely how you wear it. Especially like with my clothes, because there's like not one way of putting things. Like in the beginning, I had these trousers, of course, like the reverse jeans, like has the buckle at the back, people put it at the front. And I was like, that's not how it goes. But in the end, I love it when people tag me on Instagram and they wear it in a way that is exactly how I've styled. Like it was
amazing, right?
Yeah. But because then that inspires me even more, like how the clothes have its like versatility and how it can kind of grow into something else.
Also, people see your dream, right? There's people actually like getting it. People, when they wear it how you created it, they're actually getting it. Yeah, which is brilliant when someone gets you. Do you know what I'm saying to you? It's just that feeling of like, oh, wow, they get it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of like going, oh my gosh, she's crazy. But like we go through life with everyone. If we're a little bit out there or we do something differently, that makes us crazy because people don't understand it and they fear it. But when someone actually gets you, they're your people, man. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so when you design something, it must be amazing to see someone wearing it right.
Oh, definitely. I love the Instagram tag. So guys, please keep tagging me.
Yeah, please.
I do see everything.
Okay, so the first track is a track from your childhood that influenced your personal style.
Yeah, so I picked Khalees Good Stuff. So Khalees for me, I don't know, I was so obsessed with all her like throwback pictures because she was just so individual. She had like massive like big hair, and at the time like everyone had like straight hair. And well, when I do not have braids, I love wearing my hair out, and she just picked things that weren't necessarily, it seemed like she actually chose her own clothes and chose people around her and had individual style and individual sound, and it was
groundbreaking.
Yeah, literally groundbreaking. Like in terms of like actually having her own personal style as an artist. And I just love the music video as well too, which helps. But it's such a like chilled, feel good track as well. People say it's actually really bad because I just listen to my likes on Spotify, which is like probably like over 1,000 selected songs, and I don't have playlists. I have like some that I've created like for certain collections, or like definitely a couple of seasons ago, I was like, okay, I just want to listen to samples of every single song that I love in hip hop and the original version of it, because it makes you love it even more.
Of course. Yeah. Going back and looking at where it came from. Because, nearly every track that's produced today has a sample of something from, and the sad thing is people don't take the time to go and research where that sample came from. Yeah. They hear the original and they go, oh, this is from that Beyonce track. And you're like, nah, it's the other way around, baby.
Yeah. But nowadays, the samples that they sample songs for aren't as good. They're they will happen like 5 years ago and they'll sample it. And it's like, we already know this song. You need to give it a bit of time.
Yeah, it's not a classic.
Yeah, it needs to have I don't know, at least 10 years in between when you sample a song.
I agree 100%. And some tracks shouldn't be sampled. Some tracks should just be left. Leave the magic where it is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Stop trying to scrape a little bit off for yourself. Right, track from a film. Well, that's important to you. Which is what what film have you watched and just fell in love with the soundtrack?
So, I watched this recently. It's called Triangle of Sadness. Every time I explain to people what the film is about, they're like, that sounds like a really sad film, but it's a very cult sort of film, basically based around people, rich people and they get shipwrecked on a boat, and then it ends up like changing dynamic. But like how they create the playlist together is really much, I don't know, it makes you really have time to think about each section of what they were trying to tell you. So I picked Egyptian Fantasy, which is like something I've added to my playlist recently. And then like one of my classic ones were from the film Belly, which is Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Which is like definitely like a classic dancehall like soundtrack, sound system anthem. When you think of Carnival, it's always like when the, I guess, protagonist of the film like walks out and it makes a big impact. So those are my two favorites.
I like those choices because yet again they're not the normal choices. You know, they kind of like we've had a few choices that have popped up a couple of times from really like sort of like obvious films, and you know, the fact that you Triangle of Sadness isn't an obvious choice. Yeah. I love that. I'm gonna check it out as well. I'm gonna watch it.
I think you would like it. I was sitting in the cinema and I was sitting there for like 5 minutes. I'm like what just happened? Because
I love that.
Yeah. I was like, and then I need to watch this again.
I know. I love it when you leave the cinema and you just think, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? But it has that magic to it where you're like drawn into it and thinking about it for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a job well done.
Yeah, no, definitely it's true.
What do you listen to day to day?
So definitely a mixture of like 90s hip hop. I'm saying a lot of like Mos Def is like something that I really like connect with quite a lot. And then in the studio, just to keep the pace up, I listen to a lot of Afro beats.
Yeah.
I can't listen to too much dancehall music because it's a little bit too explicit for the daytime. So it's more like my own personal thing. But when I like, for example, when I have like a birthday party, because I love throwing house parties.
Yeah.
I'm turning 30 next year, so I probably won't have a house party. But I always get my friends to DJ like dancehall, like bashment music. But I don't actually listen to it that often in my own playlist. It's more one of those things that just reminds me of growing up and like being around people and just people just knowing automatically this is time to dance. The last show, like the exit song was Encore.
Yeah.
Which is like, would you say that's disco?
Yeah, it is disco. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then like we actually used like majority of the soundtrack was like a mixture of like sound like dancehall sounds, but not necessarily dancehall sounds. So like basically I was thinking about when it was creating music with Benny, I was like to him,
I love Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's great.
He's
so
great.
he was just like, I was like to him, think of like what would Grace Jones listen to in her kitchen, because like she's like the ultimate
of course
disco. She was at all the parties and all the things, and she also keeps it very real. I've never met her before, but
have you never met Grace?
No, I've just watched so many videos because I admire
she is a very, very, the first time you meet her, you're very, very scared.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anticipation that goes with it. She will give you the look when she's ready to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then once you get engaged with her, she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But, you know, there's a real power within her. You know, there's this real like, wow, you're in the presence of Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But when you overcome that, she just becomes like, she'll be like, pass me the cigarettes, darling. You're like, get me another drink. And it's just like, you just like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't mind getting her another drink.
Yeah.
Anyone else, you'll be like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
But with Grace, it's like, yeah, I don't even know. You know, it's just this energy. And, you know, it's Grace Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And because she's Jamaican as well, too. I was like, and then sometimes I've seen interviews where she's like spoken a bit of patois or things like that. So it's just like, that was the brief for the last show. Like, okay, what will she be listening to her kitchen? So like, it might have some sort of like Caribbean sound to it, but it's like disco 80s music. And like, I was thinking about like, of course it's a different era, but Nights Over Egypt, like that kind of like beautiful sounds, like a sound that takes you through like 8 different sections, because that's what music was like before. It was like 8-minute songs.
They were, 12 minutes,
12
not 8 minutes.
songs,
It's incredible. And Nights Over Egypt, it's like put your camel to bed. It's like one of the best, most classic lines ever.
Yeah.
Nights over Egypt, put your camel to bed. It's like, I always say, I don't know if it is put your camel to bed, but I'm sure it is. But it's just like such one of those, it makes your hair stand on end track.
Yeah.
And I just, that whole, what you just said about the what Grace Jones would play in a kitchen is such a vision. It's in itself. Do you get what I mean? And the thought set of it is endless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'd love to listen to what he came up with.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, what do you listen to when you're working
So
in the studio? You kind of touched on it, but
I guess it is a mixture of, at the moment, a lot of Beyonce, which I think
the whole world's listening to a lot of Beyonce at the moment. Yeah,
but I think the guys are like, okay, oh gosh, not well, they won't admit it, but they were telling the other guys like, oh, we listened to quite a lot, but it's Alien Superstar was like on my top 10 because it was just like, you know, you just need to feel like, I don't know, that person. Like,
yeah,
like,
100%.
You know what? I'm in charge, and like
you need to feel like Beyonce, right?
Yeah, I love the whole album.
Do you have a lot of gays working in your office?
Yeah, my team,
They're all obsessed. They're all obsessed by Beyonce. Yeah, it sounds like you've got quite a lot of my people in your office.
Yeah, it's quite mixed, but I feel like they like a lot of musicals. I'm not a huge,
do they?
Yeah, I'm like the music that they like isn't music that I necessarily listen to. So I think they've become quite well acquainted with like my sort of sound.
Are you when you're in the studio? Do you take control of the music? Are you like, no, I don't want to listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think
I love that.
A lot of the time, because they don't know what kind of music I like, they're like, okay, they'll put something on and we listen to it for like a week and I'm like, guys, we need to switch it up. And they'll be like, okay, put something random on like Sophia Spexter or like Murder on the Bus or like top 10, like top of the pops hits or something like that. So like, sometimes you need like, I wouldn't say palette cleanser, but something to switch up the sound. And the other day, my mum came into the studio and we was listening to like Latin like X music, like Romina and everything like that. She was like, what is this? Because it was like no one was talking.
Like judging you. Yeah, what is this?
No one was talking, everyone was just working hard. And like this music is just like playing. That is like more like dance.
Did you change the music?
No, because I was enjoying having the free thought of something different.
I love the fact that your mum comes in and says, what is this?
Yeah, no, she was telling my sisters about it. She's like, yeah, I came in there and they was playing this really weird music.
Genius.
Yeah.
So what do you listen to when you're creating? Like when you're to get your creative juices flowing, you know, you've got a show coming up at the end of January. You're at a studio and you're thinking, okay, what gets your mojo going?
I think definitely like the one track I would like always go back to when I'm like, hey, thinking about show music is like Umi Says by Mos Def. And it's got like this really nice magical start in the beginning, a lot of like bass in the middle, and then it's quite like singy songy a little bit, but it's a track that takes you through a journey in terms of instruments, but then it also has this like sort of like very simple verses in it, but I think to me I feel like it's quite an eclectic sound in terms of like how the build of the track is, but I think I do listen to a lot of the build of the beats more than the actual.
So you're feeling a bass line. You know what it does is do you play music loud?
I used to, but not anymore because of like, when I'm by myself, I will do, but because there's so much going on in the studio.
Yeah, no, but I think it's more important when we're by ourselves that we play loud music because that's how we feel.
Yeah,
you know, we want to feel the emotion of that song. We want to feel that bass line.
Yeah,
there's no point in having a bass line that's. You want boom, boom, boom. You know, you want it to go through you.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, if you were to go to a dance hall, right? You wouldn't be background noise.
Oh, no,
you would
loud,
feel those speakers. You would feel those stacks, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And like when you're creating a collection or to go on a catwalk, the music needs to be loud on that catwalk. People need to feel the music to go with the collection.
Yeah.
You know, it needs to be an experience. And I think like when we're alone, we have those experiences.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only time my neighbours complain is when I'm at home. They think I'm having a party, but I'm actually in the house on my own.
Yeah.
Having a moment.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I had an interview one time and they was like, I think it was an interview for GQ, and they was like, the music in there was really loud and everyone looked really tired. I was like, oh my gosh, I should turn on the music.
That's GQ, come on. They were talking about tired.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, it was show season. And I was like, there's not the guys having to be forced to listen to what I'm listening to. But I keep it at like a good tone because my studio is just one space. I was like, I hate when I'm talking and then everyone can hear what I'm saying. Yeah, so I want the music just to kind of like fill the space a bit more. And then we've got some good speakers now, so it's working very well.
It's really important. Always have good speakers.
Yeah.
Never listen to music. It's like designing a collection and having it really badly made on a really bad sewing machine.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Music needs to be on a quality system.
Yeah.
You need to hear every instrument.
That's true.
Just so that you can feel every instrument. It's the same with fashion. If you could come up with the best collection in the world, but if you have it manufactured really cheaply, there's no point to it. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I totally agree. I was like, it makes such a difference to a space as well too, and how you remember things. I remember the first time when I went to Paris.
Yeah.
And it was, it was like, I think it was Virgil's like first show, and then like
I was at that.
Yeah, I went to his Art of Hiding. It was like such a magical moment in terms of like what the kind of music that was being played.
I DJ'd with Virgil loads of times, and because there was one time when me and him were both doing British Vogue, and he wanted to do back to back, and I was like, no, I don't do back to back with anyone. Yeah. And he was standing there with his stick, and he was like, come on, bro, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it, sorry. Piss off. And I remember walking out of the DJ box thinking, he's so pushy. Yeah. Like that. And I remember saying it to Edward the next day. He was like, oh, that's Virgil. Oh, come on, you should have let him do it. And I was like, no. Still refused to do it. And it was the running joke every time I said Virgil, don't worry, I haven't got my sticks. Yeah. It's like you always said the same thing. Don't worry, I haven't got my stick. And I'd be like, all right. Yeah. It's one of those regrets, No, I think
that's a good memory though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, it is.
Virgil's amazing. Who, out of all the other menswear designers, who's your favourite?
Oh, gosh.
I know it's a hard question, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right now, who's your favourite? Because it's okay to have lots of favourites.
I have like I don't know. I feel like it kind of like it goes and flows, like it changes. There's so many people that I admire what they're doing. I would say Craig Green, like definitely like inspired me in terms of like doing menswear. Like at the time when I was studying, he was just doing something that would make people feel something, and also changing how menswear looked. And like, okay, this is not just classic menswear. He's actually bringing new shapes and actually bringing art to it. And
very creative and brought such it was really refreshing. What he brings to the table each time is always you think, okay, can't top that, and he always tops it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
What song represents the sound of your studio right now? Like, represents you if you were to put one track down. Said, okay, this is the sound of Bianca Saunders.
Oh gosh, so when I was thinking about this question, I was like, hey guys, like, because everything just left my head. I was like, there's this Daniel Caesar song called Collide. So it's like an R&B song, but it's also like a sort of reggae song, but like quite modernized. And then anything that is on Beyonce's Renaissance right now. It represents like in terms of like, okay, let's kill the silence right now and make it like more of a vibe. So I always want to just try to keep it like a good atmosphere. And I have such a good team. It's a really small team, so I was like, I always want to.
How many you got in there working with you?
So I have 5 interns and then 3 full-time people. Yeah. So about 8. Yeah.
That's a party.
Yeah, it's a party.
That's definitely a party. Yeah. That's enough for a party.
Yeah, no, it's true. Our Christmas party then this week, hopefully.
So there's going to be Renaissance on loud.
Oh, we're going to karaoke at the Saraband, so.
Oh, are you? Yeah. Amazing.
That'll be fun.
They're all going to do. You're all going to do Beyonce, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Destiny's Child.
They said they weren't really up for doing karaoke, but I feel like it's the vibe that it will change.
Babe,
they say that now, and
the amount
they're doing it.
My friends say, "Oh, we're going to do karaoke on my birthday." I'm like, "Oh, it's not my style." I'm first on the mic, and I'm always choose out the 5 songs, and I put them in, and then they're like, "Next up is Tony again." I'm like, "Oh no, you go this." All right, I'll do it, and then I'm off. Do you know what I mean? I can't sing. Seriously, I don't drink. Yeah. Or you give me a microphone and I'm off and running. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone always pretends it's not. I don't really do karaoke until they're at karaoke.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think it's like, well, like, okay, so everything's serious. And then like because it has to be fun. It's got to be a Christmas party. It's good. So
100%. Okay, right. Best, most important song you've heard in a catwalk show. This is always a really good question. I love this question probably out of all of them because this is where music and fashion really collide and they really come together. And if people get it right, you leave that show thinking, wow, that was the most incredible show I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they get it wrong, you think the clothes were great, but the music let it down.
Yeah.
So that lets the show down.
Yeah.
So it's always a really good question to ask. And I like your answer.
So I thought of Celine, so when Phee Friday was doing it in 2018. And it was just like women in like these big sort of like coats and like very like free flowing like drape. And it kind of gave this like rich woman that she like was blasting hip hop music, which was like Mary J. Blige. And it I don't know, every time I watch that show, it just reminds me that you can be yourself and still have the same sort of mix of like the music doesn't necessarily have to be like fashion music to kind of create an impact of like being fashion. So I love that show. I wasn't there. I wish I was. But
Phoebe, let's talk about Phoebe while we're on this subject. Oh, you brought it up.
Yeah.
Another strong, incredible woman of fashion and design. You know, everyone's waiting for this Phoebe collection to come out, her own collection again. And it's being waited, you know, it's meant to happen last year and hopefully it might happen in 2023.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Because she is another force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah, no, I like everything that she's done in fashion. I aspired to have that same sort of impact.
And then you also put here the Matthew Williams for Givenchy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was thinking about that because I was like, because at the time I was very interested in mix of like a lot of dancehall was in there. I think it's something that made me think about it in terms of like the music, and it's very kind of it had a very rocky vibe to it. It was quite like rebellious in terms of the music playlist. But yeah, no, definitely that was something that I thought about for this year.
Okay, and I mean, for me, both of those shows were incredible and the music for both of those shows was outstanding. And if you haven't seen them, you can see both of them on YouTube. You can actually go to YouTube or online and watch them because you'll be blown away by it too. Best music video in terms of fashion?
So I said Slonge, Don't Touch My Hair. So I think it was just like, I just at the time, and even like now actually, I felt a lot of people are still influenced by that music video, and it actually changed a lot of people's style in terms of like how they thought about themselves and like the mixture of like things that are very simple but also like I don't know. It was just, I feel like I wish I was the costume designer of this because it's like, you know, you feel like you wish you was a part of a moment that kind of changed exactly, I guess, her career as well.
It really was the game changer for her. And, you know, and you know, that video in itself was just such a powerful statement, the way she looked and the way it came across. And as you just said, the costume designer for this, because they were costumed. It was the best couture, over the top couture. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like even taking inspiration from like certain like painters to like actually influence it into the video. I thought that was quite powerful as well too.
I love that choice. And I love the fact that, you know, it's Solange, you know, because a lot of people don't give her the credit that she deserves either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, a song from a musician you'd wish to work with, dead or alive.
So I thought of Michael Jackson, and my favorite song is The Lady in My Life. I just love the beat of the song. I think it's just so like, it's just, I actually want to see that live in orchestra. I think that would be amazing to see, like, to hear.
I worked with Michael Jackson.
Or was that
I worked with him. I think I did about 5 jobs with him in all.
Oh, really? I
did like his after show parties. I did 2 private parties for him. I DJ'd for him, yeah. What was it like? It was like working for Michael Jackson. It was one of those, you know, it was like, he came in, the after show party, he came for 5 minutes, shook hands and left, which was fine. I didn't really get to meet him. I met him backstage at Wembley and he had a silver cloak on, like a lycra silver, which had a hood on it and a cloak, and he was painted silver. Yeah. And that's how I remember him. I went up to him and I was like, hi, how you doing? He was like, oh, you're doing the music for us after. So I was like, yeah. And that was kind of my Michael Jackson moment. But he was like, I remember he had this like thick silver skin. Yeah. Like an alien. Yeah. How you would expect Michael Jackson to be. Yeah. Like this alien figure. And the people that were looking after him were all friends of mine, which is how I got the job, really. You know, I could say, oh, he chose me because I was the best at the time, but I probably was the best at the time anyway. But, it was one of those weird moments that you kind of walked away thinking, what the fuck was that about? Do you know what I mean? And then the next time I met him, he didn't have silver skin and he was dancing at they had a small party at the hotel and it was at the Hilton. And I remember playing in this room and there was about 30 people and him dancing, and then he just disappeared after like 20 minutes, gone. And then suddenly they all left. Everyone left after like half an hour. They all like went. It was like they were there. Michael came in, yeah, and he left. And then the party, that was it. They came and said, thank you. I was like, oh, right. Okay, bye then. Okay, coming to the end now of your track list, which is a track that represents how you feel about life right now.
So I've picked Streets, which has it come to this. So it's like a real like garage track, but like it kind of like reminds me like a radio recording.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact that it's like, it reminds me just fast-paced London, because I'm from London, and like, I don't know, it just gives me such a nostalgic vibe.
I love the Streets.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was like, that is my palate cleanser. I was like, okay, when I'm tired of listening to everything else, I'm like, okay, let's put the Streets on, or like, and then it will just go into all these other like garage songs, like early 2000s and like mid 2000s garage songs.
Have you ever met Mike Skinner from the Streets?
No, I've seen him DJ. I've been to a couple clubs that he's DJed.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was DJing at some fashion thing.
Yeah.
And I'd fancied him since the early days of the Streets. I used to think, I like him. He's a bit of a chav.
Yeah.
Can't really fancy him. He's got that like thing about him. So that was kind of then. And then this little bald guy comes up to me and puts his hand out.
Yeah.
And shakes my hand, and I clock who it is. And I'm like, oh, hi, you all right? Shakes his hand. He went, just want to tell you you're a legend, and walked off. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, Mike's going to just come up and told me I'm a legend.
No, because you are.
And I was just like, but it's one of those, man. And I was like,
yeah.
And I remember the next day saying it to someone, and they were like, oh, he's my best friend. I'm going to tell him you're like, and he messaged me saying, I just wanted to shake your hand because I think you're a fucking legend. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. He was like, I'm going out tomorrow night. I was like, okay, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to see Shy Girl. I was like, who? And he was like, I'm going to see Shy Girl. I was like, why wasn't I invited? He said, because you don't even know who she is. And I was like, oh, right, fair enough. I'll get your point. And so, of course, Google it.
Yeah.
What an incredible.
It's quite euphoric. It's like very like, I don't know how to describe, I don't know how to type of music, but I just love it because it's like fun. You hit the nail on the head, and she's very eclectic. It's got like that R&B, it's got vibes of everything mixed in it. And she looks incredible. Yeah, no, definitely. Absolutely incredible. She did the Fashion Awards as well the other night, which was like mind-blowing. I had to tell her on the red carpet how much we loved her. No. And my boyfriend was like, you stole my moment. I was like, no, making it all about me. I love you. I only known her for 3 days. Do you know what I mean? But literally, it's one of those moments. Literally, I've only been aware of you for 3 days, but I love you. Yeah. that is me as well. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how long I've known you. Yeah. As soon as I meet someone or I see something, that's it. It's in me. It's like went to school together. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And Stabby was like, you stole my moment. I was like, yeah, well, there you go. That's my Shy Girl moment. Yeah. I loved your track listings. It was so good. And, as I said at the beginning of this, I was really excited to have you on here because for me, there's a real magic happening in London fashion right now. There's some real young creatives, some real new energy. That's exciting. Do you get what I mean? We can all we all love the big names and all of that stuff, but there's so much excitement coming through that's being embraced at last. Because, they've always had excitement, but it never gets embraced. Yeah. And you're bringing it, bitch. You're bringing it to the table. Thank you. There's so many of you right now that are on different levels, are doing different things, but bringing it. And that's a magic. That's so good to feel and see. Yeah, thank you. So I want to thank you for that. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this interview as well too. It's been like amazing talking to you and like all the stories that you have. I was like, okay, after this, I need to hear some more. Anytime, we go for coffee. Yeah. But seriously, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being you. None of you have seen what Bianca looks like, I've been sitting opposite the most prettiest girl all afternoon. And I just want to thank you for coming along. May you reign. Thank you. Thank you so much.